So this piece is a mixed media collage piece that I created as part of my mixed media sea creature class over on Skillshare. So I'll include a link to that below in the description. And with that link, if you're not already on Skillshare, you can get 1 month free Skillshare access when you sign up using that link. But for this one, so I had done a textured watercolor background, and then I had a textured sheet of watercolor that I cut the seahorse shape out of. And then I added different textures and additional details to the seahorse with brush pens, colored pencils, fine liners. I think that's it. I think those are all the things that I was used to do it. And then I collaged the seahorse onto the blue background. And I loved it and left it there for a while. And then I was considering this piece to be donated for an art auction that was coming up that I was asked to be a part of. And kind of looking at it and saying, is it finished? Does it need a little something more? And I love the opportunity to ink back into my textured watercolor papers. So I decided to be bold and brave and just go for it. So the first thing I started doing was breaking up the background with the wavy lines, kind of create different segments. And then within some of those, I decided to start drawing in freehand circles. So here I'm just using Sharpie for these details and kind of going with whatever size circle would fit within the wavy line segments that I'm choosing to work within, and kind of filling in that. So that's kind of adding a more intricate pattern to the background there. And I love adding circles. I love the repetitive nature of drawing circles. I love not worrying about perfection. The circles I know can be an intimidating thing to draw for some people, but I really enjoy it. It doesn't matter if they get wonky, it's just really fun. And then I had some new paint pens that I had picked up, and I was curious to see how they worked. So I grabbed a blue out of the set that was similar to the blue in the background and decided to create smaller circles with inside the Sharpie black circles just to add another element to that. And it's really fun to kind of come up with a creative solution to a background and then kind of get lost in the repetitive nature of filling the background with whatever those design elements are. So if this is something that you haven't tried before, I highly recommend it. It's nice to do it on just plain paper, but it's also really nice to do it on treated textured decorative papers too, because then you have the double layers of things that are happening between however the paper was originally treated and then the marks that you're putting on top of it. So I'm just finishing up those and going across the whole thing. And with each step, I'm kind of deciding where to take it next. I also had a silver marker in that set, and I was really curious to see how that silver looked on top of the black and blue background, and it looks great. It provides a really nice brightness and kind of emphasizes some of the lines where I'm putting it. So it works with the design that's already there, but it's adding some more depth between the darker marks and the lighter marks. And then I really wanted to have a little bit more pop between the contrast of the background and the brightness of the pink seahorse. So in sections where I didn't treat it with the circles, I'm going in with a blue Prismacolor pencil and just kind of doing some fading out gradations. Really loose, the only thing I'm focusing on is that it's a smooth fade out in the value scale so that it looks nice and clean. And I don't want to see any of the scribbly lines, just kind of my own thing for this. But it provides a nice darkness to some areas and kind of adds even more breakup and yet definition to the background texture that I'm creating here, background pattern that I'm creating. And it's just a really easy step. It's really lovely to put colored pencil over watercolor. It's actually becoming one of my new favorite things to do in different ways. So another thing that I encourage you to try, colored pencil over watercolor. I'm just kind of going through and getting all the different sections, kind of following my own design rules that I've created for this particular artwork. And then I wanted to have a little bit more going on in the circles. I really love the silver details. So I went back to my silver marker and started putting even smaller circles. So I have the black Sharpie circle, I have the blue paint pen circle, and now I have the silver paint pen circle. So 3 different circles for each one. And that just kind of helps unify the brightness of the wavy silver lines with what's happening with the other marks on the page. And it kind of helps balance out too between some brightness in the background and the brightness of the seahorse layered on top of it. And I really love that. I love playing around with the idea of contrast that also then works in harmony and balance and kind of unifies a piece. So that's another thing that if you haven't played with that, I highly recommend trying it because it usually works out great. And I love this piece. I absolutely love it. I did decide to do a little bit more work in my Seahorse and just kind of add a few more layers of colored pencil just to kind of help define it and give it some more highlights, so a little bit more roundness and definition to its form. And I love how this piece turned out. And if you like it, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to check out more videos in the future, and I'll see you next time.